Hi, I'm Michelle. Welcome back to Finally Revealed. In this episode, I want to talk about car rental, pitfalls of renting cars, and what you can do to pay the advertised price and not an extra trumped up price with extra charges and unnecessary items. The first thing that you might not be aware of is there is a different charge for a vehicle rental at the airport versus somewhere in town. A friend of mine ran into this and wasn't aware of this and was quite surprised when she heard an advertisement. She was taking her family on a trip and thought it was going to be more economical, more comfortable for them to rent a vehicle and take it on their trip rather than using one of the cars that they had, because they had extra people, extra luggage. This seemed like a good idea. She then went to the airport to rent the car instead of another location in our town. What she didn't realize is there are surcharges on cars that are rented from the airport. You might remember this when you hear in your local news talking about tourism, add-on to the airport, new construction of the airport, and some of the things they say is we will pay for some of those items through the tax on visitors, either hotel or airport tax. Well, that also includes rental cars. So check the prices at the location where you're going to rent it. Even if you're reserving it online, call before you go to pick it up. That will save you from this rude awakening, because sometimes the charges can be double the daily charge. The next item is gas. When you go in to pick up the car, look and you'll see they have to publish it, and it's usually on the wall behind the attendant. It'll say what the current rate is per gallon of gas. They will try to convince you that you can just return the car and not worry about having to fill it up with gas. They will take care of that for you, and you'll be covered. Don't fall for this. The charge is often double what it is going to be if you just fill the car up with gas. Also, when they sell you that gas option, they're selling you a full tank. You might not even use a full tank. And if you do use a full tank or are charged for a full tank and you have an SUV or a minivan, it's going to be a lot more than maybe a mid-size or compact car. So agree to fill it up when you return the car, and then as you're leaving the airport, I'm presuming that this time you're getting it from the airport because you're flying in. As you're leaving the airport, scope out the gas station and make a note of it so that you can use that place to stop on your way back, so that you know where you're going to stop, you can get the gas closest to the airport, and then you have that part covered. The next thing, speaking of coverage, is extra coverage. They will often try to sell you extra insurance coverage. If you have a driver's license, chances are you have a car. If you have a car, you have to have insurance, so you don't need extra insurance. Double check your own individual coverage to be sure of the limits. I had one time where the people, they were in Houston, and they said, oh, you should always get the extra coverage in Houston because we have big trucks and they throw off gravel. Well, they also do that in Iowa. They also do that in New York. You don't need the extra coverage if you're already covered under your own insurance. So check that. That'll save you some money. Then gadgets is the next item. Gadgets includes GPS. If you have a cell phone, you don't need a GPS extra. If you have a child, chances are you have a car seat with you. You don't need their extra car seat. If you have skis, sometimes you'll need an extra carrier. If you're renting an SUV or a minivan, you can put the skis inside. So think about those things as they are trying to add those on. Those will add on to the cost of the car, and more likely than not, it's a per day charge. If you've got the car for a week, that's 7 days of that charge, not just one. So if you really need it, pay attention to the amount, maybe bargain with them, but don't just blindly say okay. Now, two other things that are not mentioned at the counter that you should be aware of. After you return the car, keep your paperwork for the next month or 2 months when you get home. There are two reasons for this. I went on a trip and used a rental car and came back and got a funny, it was funny to me, I've got a funny letter saying, "Dear Michelle, please return our car." Well, I didn't drive it all the way home. I drove it, took it to the airport, returned it to the rental place, got on the plane and came home. So I still had my paperwork, and I sent it to them where they had given me the little receipt, and I said, "You have your car. I don't have your car." The other reason is, and I won't name names, but there are a few, two that I know of for sure, that I know this has happened on multiple people. The credit card will be charged multiple times after you get home. So you want to have your paperwork beyond at least 60 days after you get home, so that when you get your credit card statement, you can verify the charges that you already paid, the date that they were on your credit card statement, and if it shows up again, you can immediately dispute it so that you don't pay for the rental car multiple times. And if you're a person who doesn't regularly check your credit card statements carefully, any time that you have rented a car, when you come home, check that statement. You'll save yourself a lot of money. Sometimes it has been reported that they charge again up to 6 months after the fact. So I don't want you to get ripped off. I hope this was helpful to you. If you've had a story on a rental car, go ahead and leave us a comment, and feel free to like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.